Good evening from my part of the world. Good evening from my part of the world. Are you excited about 2026? Every year, then we'll do all the New Year resolutions, and yet we go through the same robotic year over and over again just because we don't practicalize what we really want. How do you reflect, refocus, or reset? Come, let's have a conversation. You can share for somebody else to equally join the conversation. 31st December, then people will gather, pray, as if the next day will automatically transform lives just because the whole night we were desiring and hoping and wishing and praying and making declarations. It will just be a change in dates. It would just be a change in date. 31st, it ended. It is beginning 1st of the next year. Nothing significant will change if we don't put systems in place. So we go through the year and we get frustrated because we prayed and we believed and we hoped and we did all that, and yet we got stagnated. Yes. If we don't reflect and refocus, or if we don't reset, nothing significant will change. We'll just go through life robotic like it is, and we can blame everybody else. But growth, I believe, takes place when we are able to look at ourselves and say, yes, these were what I was supposed to have done and I did not. And I will not go through this robotics again. Until we change, nothing actually changes. Until we become different and do things differently, nothing would change. Nothing would be different for us. So hooray, you're excited about 2026. The year is ending. Yes, 2026, my year, my that, all those declarations, we would have to practicalize them. So this conversation is so dear to me that if you were in my class, I would have charged you. But here I'm pouring my heart out to you. So, yes, let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. As we stand at the threshold of 2026, the tradition of New Year's resolutions feels increasingly inadequate. Some people wait and then we get into 1st January before they are planning the year, whilst people have taken December to plan and they are living the year starting from 1st January. They would now take a whole quarter to plan for the year. And maybe when in finish call, the first quarter will just be like a joke. When you bet on a match is here and the first quarter is gone. Whereby some other people are taking this December to plan their year, such that the 1st of January 2026, they're already living the year. As we stand at the threshold of 2026, that tradition of New Year's resolutions feels increasingly inadequate. What have we said over the years? I'll go to gym. I'll exercise every day. I'll eat healthily. I'll do this. How come nothing of those things, none of them has materialized? It is because we just say it and words are cheap. Anybody can say, anybody can desire, anybody can wish, anybody can pray. But without strategies, without taking action, without knowing exactly what we are supposed to do, even the breakdown into daily habits. We can just say these things, pray for them, wish and desire, and yet nothing won't change. In a world that moves with, what word am I even looking for? Dizzying speed. In a world that moves with dizzying speed, a mere list of wishes is not enough to navigate the complexities of personal growth. If we just wish and we desire, we hope, and we even pray for a better life without doing things to bring these things into materialization, year will come, year will go, but nothing significant will change for us, and it wouldn't be anybody's fault. To truly evolve, to truly transform, to truly become better, we must move beyond the doing to embrace the becoming. Another topic, I will do it in the course of the week. Many people gather so much knowledge. Baby, or better say, you share baby, I know I could share be researching here, learning there, and then they take action based on their knowledge. But we forget that in between, if the knowledge doesn't transform you, if the knowledge doesn't cause you to question and interrogate the way you've lived, chances are you take action and yet won't because you won't have the willpower, the capacity to do it to the finish line. So it is no knowledge, the doing, and then the becoming. Getting knowledge, letting the knowledge to change you, transform you. So when you take action, it is the transformed you that is taking action. And these actions become natural to us because it is what is in you that you are living. Reflecting and refocusing for 2026 is not an administrative task. Should I repeat? Reflecting and refocusing for 2026 will not be an administrative task. It is an architectural one, a deliberate process of auditing the foundations of this year so we can build a more intentional structure for next year. And yes, I only wish, will pray, will desire, will do all those things, but trust me, it will still become the same robotic 2026. So step one, the intellectual audit, when we have to reflect on the year 2025, that is the first step. Yɛde mmirika ketekete ne yɛkɔ yie anim because we think we desire or even we think we deserve a better life will come to us. No, it wouldn't happen. I'm sorry, but that is the truth. If you are sounded harsh, that is the truth. A better life will never come to us just because we desire and wish or even pray and fast for it. No. So the first step is what I call the intellectual audit. Reflecting on this year. Reflection is the art of turning experience into insight. Before setting a single goal for 2026, you must rigorously interrogate the year that has passed or the year that is ending. You must seriously interrogate this year. Sometimes year na bɛsen asana yɛdi agorɔ na year na bɛsen because everything is just robotic. No agenda, no goals, nothing. So things just happen by chance. No. If we want 2026 to be better, We can never leave anything to chance. So we must seriously interrogate this year how we have left. Most people fail to grow because they carry the debris or the debris. You see the way today I'm pronouncing words incorrectly. They must carry the debris of previous years, outdated beliefs. The same you is who you are moving into 2026. And until we change inside here, we can never do anything differently. It is the same beliefs we are carrying to the year. So, what makes us think we are going to do something differently? No, we are beliefs. So, a lot of people fail to grow because they carry the debris of the years, outdated beliefs, unhelpful habits, and toxic patterns into their future. Into Bashana, you want a better 2026, but if you are living the same 2025 in 2026, the chances are we can never get anything better. So the first step as to why we set all these goals but we are not able to work through them is because we don't reflect. Number one, the first step is what I call the intellectual audit, reflecting on the year 2025, the outdated beliefs, the unhelpful habits, and toxic patterns. If we are to move these into 2026, the chances are that next year would also come and go, and nothing transformative would happen. The success audits. So you can identify 3 wins from this year. Start noting them. What areas have you excelled? Is excelled even the correct word? Have you done well? It's not supposed to be something we will be. What 3 areas have you done extremely well? Have you done better? Good. Not extremely well per se, but what areas have you done well as compared to last year? Not just list the achievement, identify the behavior or mindset that made it possible. If we just list them, no. What behavior or mindset that made that possible? Is it your career? Is it your health? Is it your love life? What mindset or behavior made it possible for you to excel, for you to do better at these areas? Did you win because you were disciplined or because you finally set a boundary? Did you become better this year at these areas because you were disciplined or because you set boundaries? Then you have the resistance audits. All within auditing, all within reflecting on this year. You have the success audit, the resistance audit, and then the energy audit. All within the number one, auditing the year, reflecting on 2025. Then you have the resistance audit. Where did you wobble? Instead of viewing setbacks as failures, view them as data. Yes, our souls bleed because we always look at weaknesses, the setbacks. We could have improved, we could have done better. No. See them now in December. Everything you consider as a failure, see them as data. Yes. See them as data for 2026. Did the project fail because of a lack of skill or because it wasn't aligned with your core values? You know the things as because the things you are doing are against your core values as a human being. And how do you expect this contradiction to work? Definitely won't work. You want to do things and you know those are it is not who you are. You are forcing to become somebody you are not. Definitely you will not succeed at those things. So check your resistance audits too. Where did you wobble in the year? Instead of seeing things as failures, view them as data. So you know in 2026, if you want to succeed, you are not supposed to repeat this cycle. Did the project fail because of a lack of skill, lack of capacity, or because it wasn't aligned with your core values? Then you have the energy audit. Which relationships and activities fueled your world and which left you feeling taken for granted? Which relationships and activities, which communities fueled your world and which ones left you feeling taken for granted, used, depleted? True reflection requires the honesty to admit what and who no longer fits your evolution. Should I repeat? True reflection requires the honesty to admit what and who, two different categories, what and who no longer fits your evolution. Number two, the step two, the identity shifts, becoming, not just doing. We are not able to go through the year as we plan, as we anticipate, as we desire, as we wish, because we are looking at just the doing and forgetting who we are supposed to become. The becoming is powerful than the doing. The mistake most make when planning a new year is focusing on actions. I'll go to the gym, I'll slim, rather than the identity, the person who prioritizes my health. I will not slim, I will not eat healthily, I will not cut down on dysfunctional and toxic relationships because I feel like doing them. It is because of who I want to become. It is because of who I want to become. So not just the doing, but the becoming. For 2026, the focusing must start with identity. Who do you want to become? That will determine the people you give your time to. Ask yourself, who do I need to become to make my 2026 vision a reality? It is not just about the doing and the doing and the doing, but who do you want to become? If your goal is financial freedom like myself, the identity shift is becoming a steward of resources, having extra sources than what you have now. If your goal is better relationships, the shift is becoming someone who values themselves enough to stop begging for love. So the becoming will determine what you do. But if your focus is just to do and do and do, you get overwhelmed and you'll not be able to become who you are supposed to be. You can't do enough. You'll just be overwhelmed. If the focus is the who you become, the doing becomes natural and normal. When you change the identity, the actions follow as a national consequence. When you change the identity, the actions follow as a normal way of life, as a natural consequence. Refocusing for 2026 means choosing one word or one phrase that represents your becoming. Mine can be boundaries, expansion, or authenticity. Find your words and your phrase too. To serve, these words, these phrases become your North Star for the next 12 months. Then when life becomes so overwhelming, remember you said you are going to set boundaries this year. You said you are going to live authentically this year. You said there is so much room for expansion this year. And if you want to grow It means, yes, you do more and you become more. Step 3, strategic refocusing. Sometimes we do too much, but we don't become much because it's not just the doing, it is what we are doing. It is not just doing everything and anything. So, step 3 will be strategic refocusing, the roadmap itself. Where people do so little, according to our examination, and they achieve so much, and yet we do so much and we achieve little. It is the strategic refocusing, not just doing everything, not just being everywhere, but strategically refocusing. Once the audit is complete and the identity is set, it is time for action. You don't just take action when you don't have the identity, when you haven't done the auditing. You just be wasting life, doing too much and yet having little results. And you'll be blaming everybody. It is only when the audit is complete and the identity is set that you can take action. 2026 will demand slow productivity. Yes, the rejection of being busy in favor of being impactful. So there are lots of things you've done today. That will be so much nonsense if you want to become more 2026. But you will be able to identify them when you audit your year. You'll be amazed to find out how you've wasted time, how you've wasted your energy, being around people and situations and places that were of no use to you, that were of no use to who you are becoming. So 2026 will demand slow productivity, in quotes. And the slow productivity means the rejection of being busy in favor of being impactful. So even if you are doing little, you are doing it and doing it so well because it is strategic. You're not just doing everything and being everywhere. You are refocusing strategically. So the little you do would be impactful. So within step number 3, strategic refocusing, you do your audits, you set your identity, and then you take action. By rejecting everything that would make you busy in order to be impactful, in order to be fruitful, in order to be productive. So you prune the non-essential. You use a not to-do list. A greater percentage of people know the to-do list, but we don't know what's not to do. It's like looking for a relationship and all you know is what you want. What about what you don't want? You know what you don't want and you know what you want. Then you are flying. Then you meet people and meet situations and even meet what people consider opportunities. I know these are not for me. Away bus. You'll be able to declutter. You know what is just not for you. So when everybody is chasing, you know this is not for you. So 2026, under step 3, strategic refocusing, you have to prune the non-essential. Use a not to-do list. Let the whole world follow to-do list, but you are also to come out with your not to-do list, meaning as for this, it is not my portion. I won't waste my time, I won't waste my energy, I won't waste my resources on it. Bye. No ma'am, no sir. Use the not to-do list. Transformation requires space. Let the whole world chase the to-do list. You would also add the not to-do list. What are you willing to stop doing in 2026 to make room for your new identity? What are you willing to stop doing to make room for your new identity in 2026? What are you willing to stop doing? Regardless of who is doing it, you would want to stop doing it so you can make room for your new identity. And we shouldn't forget that anytime you stop doing something, it means you are creating space, making room for something that is profitable, for something that is better, meaningful, beneficial than what you've let go. So, what are you willing to stop doing to make room for your new identity in 2026? So, 2026 doesn't also become like any other year. After you've done your to do list, please do the not to do list too. Then, within the same number three, step three, the strategic refocusing, you also have the rule of three. If you were in my class, I would have charged you. So please download this video and watch over and over again so we don't waste our lives by just being busy and yet not productive, not fruitful. Prune the non-essential. Use the not to-do list. And then you also have the rule of three. When we get overwhelmed, we plan, we pray, we desire, we wish, but then first quarter comes and we relapse because you're overwhelmed. Is because we just want to achieve everything. At the same time, go by the rule of three. Do not set 12 goals, 24 goals, 12 areas of my life I want to improve. No, just go by the rule of three. Do not set 12 goals. Pick three primary pillars. It can be health, it can be finances, it can be your children, family, love, life. All these three are categorized into one. You know your situation now. So my health is paramount. It can be your health, it can be your spirituality, it can be your finances, it can be children, family, love, life. All these three are categorized into one. It can be your career, it can be your internal peace. Pick any three based on the line of priority, scale of preference. You pick three at a time. Focus on these with depth rather than breadth. Don't stretch yourself across everywhere so that you become a jack of trade, master of nothing. Pick three areas of your life. You realize when you are able to do well at just these three areas, you have the vim to do better. And then you'll be adding along the line. So the rule of three, all within the step three, strategic refocusing. You prune the non-essential. You have the rule of three. Don't overwhelm yourself with a lot of things you want to do. Just take three areas. Your health, your spirituality, your finances, children, family, love, life. You can categorize all into one. Your career, your inner peace. You know these areas. And focus on these three. You realize when you do well with these three areas, other areas will become so easy to combine them. And then you have the micro habits of a massive overhauls. Why people start and they are not able to finish is because they are looking at the massive overhauls. First quarter it doesn't work like magic. In 2026, consistency beats intensity. Instead of an hour of meditation, praying, whatever, start with 1 minute. Yes, 1 minute. 1 minute. These micro habits reinforce your new identity every single day without triggering the resistance of your old self. So when you start and you are so overwhelmed that you just think of the old, how do you even call it? The old days, the old good days. Then you just go back to the old patterns because you are just overwhelmed. So instead of an hour of doing something, start with 1 minute. Yes, 1 minute. Then have what you call the 2026 manifesto. Write these things down. Don't just say them. Don't just desire them. Don't just anticipate that things will change by themselves. Write them down. Have a manifesto for 2026. Reflecting and refocusing for 2026 is an act of self-rescue. It's an act of self-rescue. You're on a rescue mission to rescue yourself, yes. It is the moment you decide that you will no longer be an accidental passenger in your own life. As a na months na besinga, na quarter na besinga, na finasu no. Tell yourself no more and never again. You won't be an accidental passenger in your own life. By auditing the lessons of 2025 and anchoring your 2026 goals in the person you are becoming, you ensure that your life is not just moving, it is evolving. Yeah. Your life will not just be moving, you'll be evolving, you're becoming better inside out. 2026 is not just another year on the calendar. It is the year you write the standard. Should I repeat? 2026 is not supposed to be another year on the calendar. It should be a year that you write the standard of your worth, and step into the world as the better human you were made to be. The better human you were made to be. So yet, get the art of the pause. How often do you reset to reflect and refocus? Yeah, the speed in Namafinima and the year ends and we are still the same and wonder how. How come? How often do you reset to reflect and refocus? In the course of the year, in the course of this year, how often have you paused to reflect and refocus? In the relentless tempo of 21st century, Obia ye busy and yet not productive. Busy has become a badge of honor and hustle. I've called you 4 times. Why haven't you answered? Why haven't you called back? I have been busy. Busy and yet not productive. Is that what we want? Busy and yet not productive. Oh, we have been busy. Busy has become a badge of honor and hustle, a modern religion, right? We are conditioned to believe that constant motion is equal to progress. We've been lied to. Constant moving is not synonymous with progress. The fact that we are busy doesn't mean we are progressing. The fact that we are busy doesn't mean we are fruitful. It doesn't mean we are progressive. It doesn't mean we are productive. All it simply means is we are busy. As simple as that. It doesn't equate with progress. We are just busy. Intentional pauses. Motion is often just noise. Without intentional pauses, motion is often just noise. If you are just busy and moving and moving and moving and moving without pausing to reflect, motion is just noise. The most critical question for any individual seeking a life of purpose is not how much are you doing, but rather how often do you reset to reflect and refocus? How often do you reset to reflect and refocus? The ability to step back and recalibrate. How you are able to recalibrate is not a luxury. The ability to step back and recalibrate is not a luxury. It's not for the big men and big women. It is not a luxury. It is the fundamental discipline that prevents a well-intentioned life from drifting off course. It is not just for the big men. It is for everybody who wants to live intentionally. For everyone who wants to live intentionally. For every one of us who wants to live intentionally. You don't just want to live anyhow. That is the fundamental discipline that prevents a well-intentioned life from just drifting off course. And that's the drift of unchecked momentum. The physics students, if you are on, please help us. Is it Newton's first law of motion that states that an object in motion stays in motion unless acted upon by an external force? Human lives operate similarly. When we are caught in the momentum of daily tasks, social expectations, and professional demands, we enter a state of autopilot. Abrabono is on autopilot. No transformation, no growth, autopilot. Robotic. Without a deliberate reset, we begin to drift. We may find ourselves achieving goals that no longer satisfy us. It's like being a ship without compass. From the outside, everybody thinks you are doing so well, but these goals are no more satisfying you because they become robotic. No reset, no recalibration, no refocus, nothing, just robotic. And at a point, it will not give you the satisfaction you want because it doesn't come with any growth. We may find ourselves achieving goals that no longer satisfy us, maintaining relationships that drain us, or upholding beliefs that we have long outgrown. But because we don't take time to refocus, we are just holding on to these outdated beliefs that have long outgrown. We have outgrown them. The drift is subtle. It happens in the gaps between emails and the rush of deadlines. Busy. But it's cumulative effects. When we do these things over a long haul, then we become robotic. We can't even use our brains to think anymore. Life is just robotic. No growth, no development, nothing. So people outside think we are doing so much because we are busy, but inwardly, we know we are not growing. And the cumulative effect is a life that feels disconnected from our very true self. Reflection is the external force required to break that mindless momentum and ensure our direction matches our intention. When we reflect on our lives, that is when we ensure that our direction matches our intention. So yes, reset has a rhythm. It has a rhythm, and that is the reflection of us data. Resetting is the process of moving from doing to knowing. It is an interrogation of our current state. When you sit down and you look at your life and you begin interrogating how you got here, that is gathering data. To reflect is to audit our internal and external world. How did I get to where I am now? Is my current output aligned with my core values? What habits am I nurturing? And are they serving the person I am becoming? Where am I leaking energy on things that no do not matter? Where, in what areas am I leaking energy on things that do not matter? Meaning I'm busy but not productive. This reflection provides the data necessary for the second half of the equation, that is refocusing. So we don't go through 2026 to just robotic, and the year ends and wonder why there has been huge transformation. Transformation won't happen if we are just living robotic. Refocusing is the art of pruning the non-essential. It is the courage to say no to good opportunities so that we can say yes to the best ones. Should I repeat? It is the courage to saying no, the courage to say no to what seems like good opportunities so we can say yes to the best ones. It is about narrowing the lens of our intention, the lens of our attention until our daily actions are laser aligned with the long-term vision. Narrowing the lens of our attention until our daily actions are laser aligned with the long-term vision. It's about throwing everything away until we know these are what we really want at this point in time. Narrowing the lens of our attention until our daily actions are laser aligned with our long-term vision. So find your frequency. If you want 2026 to be different, find your frequency. The frequency of this reset is deeply personal, yet it must be systemic to be effective. Although it's personal, but if it's not systemic, it can be effective. Relying on feeling like it is a recipe for burnout. A healthy life requires a multi-layered rhythm, and this rhythm must be calibrated. How? By the daily micro reset, 10 minutes of silence or journaling to clear the mental clutter of the day. The weekly audit, a time to look at the week ahead and ensure the calendar reflects one's priorities. We can't just not go through the life, go through the year, go through the days, go through the weeks, and no plan, no goals, no agenda, and then at the end of the year, wonder why the year has also been the same. No, it doesn't work like that. So the weekly audits, after you've done the daily macro reset, you have the weekly audit, a time to look at the week ahead and ensure the calendar reflects one's priorities, not just other people's emergencies. Whether it's a Saturday evening, whether it's a Sunday evening, you have to do this before the week begins. For the calendar to reflect your priorities, not other people's emergencies. Then you have the seasonal retreats, a deeper dive, perhaps every quarter, to question paradigms, evaluate growth, and stretch the vision of what is possible. If you want 2026 to be better and different, we should have the strength in standing still. Yes, there is a common fear that stopping to reflect will result in failing behind. That's never true. In reality, the opposite is true. The person who runs 100 miles in the wrong direction is further from their goal than the person who stands still. to check the compass. So you are busy, but the person who sits to reset, to recalculate, to reflect and refocus will come with momentum than the person who is just running in circles. The person who runs 100 miles in the wrong direction is further away from their goal than the person who stands still to check the compass. Resetting is an act of intellectual and emotional bravery. It requires facing the possibility that we have been wrong, that we need to change, or that we need to start again. It's better than just going in the wrong direction. Growth is not a straight line. I don't know whether yours has been a straight line for you. If yours has been, I will say, hooray, well done. But growth is not a straight line. It is a series of corrections. We cannot evolve into the better human we are made to be if we are too busy to notice who we are currently becoming. We cannot evolve into the better human we are made to be if we are too busy to notice who we are currently becoming. If we can't take notice of who we are becoming, how do we think we can become the better human we are made to be? By making the reset a non-negotiable, by embracing the reset as a non-negotiable part of our journey, we transform our lives from a series of reactive events into a masterpiece of intentional design. We don't just go through life as robots, no. Just reactive events. We transform our lives from all the series of reactive events into a masterpiece of intentional designs. The pause does not slow the journey. It gives the journey its meaning. Into the baby now, and go ye mouse at the upper. Pause and ask yourself questions. So, in conclusion, I have some structured reset checklists categorized by frequency. These prompts are designed to help you interrogate your paradigms and ensure your doing is always aligned with your becoming. The daily micro resets, it can be 10 minutes, depending on your capacity. You can do this in the evenings, starting from tonight. And the goal is to clear the mental clutter and stay present. So that's when you can have the brain dump. Write down everything weighing on your mind. It can be task, it can be your worries, it can be your ideas. Everything weighing on your mind, write them down. I hope you know the difference between mindstorming and brainstorming. Just write everything that is weighing on your mind. Task, worries, responsibilities, commitments, ideas, write everything down. Get it out of your head and onto a paper. Then you do the energy audit, as I said early on. Identify one thing that drained your energy during the day and one thing that fueled it in the course of the day. What one thing energized you or drained your energy? What one thing drained your energy or fueled it? Write it. What one thing drained your energy or fueled it? Write it down. It means these are things you need to note. Sometimes we get overwhelmed and we don't even know why. Because the things around us are so many. If you're able to break it down, We know exactly what are draining us and what are fueling us. Then you have the alignment check. Did my actions today reflect the person I want to be? Alignment check. Did my actions today reflect the person I want to become? If not, what am I supposed to do? Alignment check. Then you have the one win. What is one thing I am proud of accomplishing today? No matter how small. It means I'm supposed to do more of those things. Then you have the weekly alignment. It can be between 30 to 60 minutes. Start these things today. Don't wait until you get into 2026. Begin doing them today. So you get into next year from 1st of January and you're already prepared into the year. The weekly alignment. The goal is to audit the past week and strategically design the next. You can do this on a Sunday evening too. Review the calendar. Looking back at your time, what percentage was spent on busy work versus purposeful growth? Then the no list, as I said earlier. What did I agree to this week that I should have declined? What did I agree to this week that I should have declined? How will I set that boundary this week or next week, depending on when you are doing this? Then you have the stretching goals. In what area did I stretch myself this week? If I didn't, where can I find a challenge next week? If you go through the whole week without any challenge, the chances are there was no growth moment for you. Relationship check. Am I begging for validation in any area of my life right now? The people I call mine, did they consider me as theirs? What shows? When their words conflict with their actions, please pay attention to the actions. How they feel about you is how they treat you, not what they tell you. The people you call yours, do they consider you as theirs too? What shows? That is what I call the relationship check. How can you refocus that energy back into self-love? Then you have the quarterly deep dive. It can be a half day. So if you don't know how to utilize the alone moments, these are what I'm bringing to your doorstep. The quarterly deep dive. The goal is to interrogate paradigms and write the standard of your worth. Belief interrogation. What is one truth I've held 3 months ago that I now realize might be a limiting belief? If you're able to do these things every quarter, you have no idea the growth that will take place internally. And at a point, it will show externally. Belief interrogation. What is one truth I held 3 months ago that I now realize might be a limiting belief? Then you have the value filter. Are the people I'm spending the most time with valuing my wealth, or am I being taken for granted? You also have the transformation track. Am I becoming a different, better version of myself, or am I just repeating the same patterns in a new month? Then you have the vision recalibration. The vision recalibration. If I continue at this exact pace for another year, will I be happy with where I land? The vision recalibration. If you continue at this exact pace for another year, if you are supposed to live the way you are living, will you be happy with where it will land you 2026 by now? If you continue at this pace for another year, I mean, if you live like this in 2026, at the end of the year, will you be happy with where that will land you? If not, then you know what to do. The person who stands still to check the compass is closer to the goal than the one running in the wrong direction. Should I repeat? The person who stands still to check the compass is closer to the goal than the one busily running in the wrong direction. So you might ask how to use this checklist. I recommend starting with just the daily micro resets for 1 week. One that feels like a natural habit, add the weekly alignment. Start with the daily micro reset. Do this for 1 week, for 2 weeks, for a whole month. Once that feels like a natural habit, add the weekly alignments too. To transform your life, your reset needs more than just a to-do list. It needs a set of qualitative barometers, standardized measures that will tell you if you're actually evolving or just running in place, just running in circles. So in rounding up, here are 5 essential barometers you can use daily during your reflection period to gauge true transformation. You can add, adopt, or adapt any of these. Number 1, the resentment versus peace barometer. The resentment versus peace barometer. Resentment is the most accurate indicator of where you are neglecting yourself or allowing others to take you for granted. That's resentment. So the measure would be scan your recent interactions. Scan your recent interactions. Where do you feel a stink of bitterness? The transformation check will be if resentment is high, it means you are likely begging for appreciation or failing to set a boundary. Transformation is occurring when resentment decreases and is replaced by the peace of self-sufficiency. Transformation can only occur when resentment decreases and when it is replaced by the peace of self-sufficiency. Number 2, the internal versus external validation barometer. This measures where your power center is located. So the measure would be when you achieve something this week, who was the first person you wanted to tell? When you achieved something this week, or when you achieve something, who is the first person you want to tell? Was it because you were proud, or because you needed them to tell you, yeah, you've done well, it was good? The transformation check will be, are you making decisions based on your internal knowing, becoming, or are you performing for an audience? That is when you are doing. If you are becoming, it is internal, inwardly. If you are just performing for people to clap the applause, that is when you are just doing without any transformation. Number 3 would be the stretching frequency barometer. Growth cannot happen without the discomfort of expansion. Should I repeat? Growth cannot happen without the discomfort of expansion. So the measure would be, how many times this week did you feel out of depth or slightly intimidated by a task? The transformation check would be, if your life feels too comfortable, you aren't stretching. If your life feels too comfortable, you aren't stretching. Transformation requires a consistent stretch where you interrogate a paradigm or try a skill that doesn't feel natural to you. Meaning, how do I do these things? It means you have to learn. It means you have to interrogate your paradigm. It means you have to interrogate your mindset, your worldview, your perspective. Yeah, that is when growth can take place. That is when transformation can happen. Transformation requires a consistent stretch. So the transformation check will prompt you if you are too comfortable. It means you are not stretching. It means you are not growing. Number 4, the reaction versus response barometer. The reaction versus response barometer. This is a barometer for emotional maturity and self mastery. So the measure would be when the closest person ignored your value or a situation went wrong, did you react impulsive, emotional, or defensive? Or did you respond measured, aligned with your values? When the closest person ignored your value or a situation went wrong, did you react impulsive, emotional, or defensive? Or did you respond measured, aligned with your values? So the transformation check would be the space between the stimulus and your response. The wider the space, the more you have become the master of your own world. Transformation is the space between the stimulus and your response. The wider the space, the more you have become the master of your own world. Number 5, the pruning barometer. You cannot grow new branches if you are carrying dead weights. Should I repeat? You cannot grow new branches if you are carrying dead weights. So the measure would be, what have you let go of recently? This could be a habit, a toxic relationship, or a limiting belief about your worth. The transformation checker would be, if you aren't dropping things that no longer fit the better human you are made to be, you are merely accumulating, not transforming. If you are not dropping things that no longer fit the human you are made to be, you are merely accumulating, not transforming. Meaning if you are not letting go of things that are no more serving you, you are not transforming. You are just accumulating. Transformation has a compass. And to visualize this, imagine your life as a compass where these barometers keep you centered. Visualize your life. Imagine your life as a compass where these barometers keep you centered. So if we're in a class and we are having a deeper conversation into this, we could have had a table with resets where you have your barometer, where you have your red flag, and then you have your green flag too, where you be able to fake in. When it comes to validation, you are faking in, whether you are seeking likes and not, whether you want people's applaud or you are seeking internal alignment. Then we'd have breaking it into validation, boundaries, activity, and even social and barometer. So boundaries would be feeling taken for granted, feeling respected, even if disliked. Even if they don't like you, they still respect you and it's good for you. Or you're feeling taken for granted, so you have to set healthy boundaries. Then you come into activity, busy with doing, or you are intentional with becoming. Then you have the social cycle barometer. Forgive me, I'm tired. Where you are catering to the closest mirage, or you are serving those who value your world. So you see, we have a choice. It shouldn't be like life is just happening. We have a choice. And this choice would happen when we are intentional about life, when we are strategic about living. So if you want 2026 to be different and better, it means we are supposed to start doing things that are different and better. Because many things will not happen by themselves. We would have to make them happen. So I pass by to remind you that yes, at this point, we would have to reflect, refocus, or even reset so we can have a better 2026. In the comments there, let me hear your thoughts also. Until I come your way again in my next video, I say much love and blessings. Just know that Facebook is deleting live videos. So those of you watching on Facebook, you can download this and watch periodically. So it will guide you into either you need to refocus, either you need to reflect or reset. Because exactly a month, sometimes it's not even exactly a month, 3 weeks or few days, it would be pulled down. Until I come your way again in my next video, I say much love and blessings.